everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Angela with Widow on a Budget. And how can I have this channel without talking so much about my dear loved one, David? He, in the intro, he's the guy that's in that picture, which I'm sure you already know that or can guess that. I do date. I've been dating a guy. His name is Mike, and he has to come over this weekend. So this past weekend, I went to his house. I don't do that often because I do have all the dogs, and I have a rent car, so right now the dogs can't ride in the rent car because someone backed into my car. Thank you. Anyway, Michael's going to have to come to my house because we've been having storm after storm after storm. And a tree that is on the property behind mine, so they're right here, and here's me, and this is the fence line. There's a tree that was growing. The trunk is over here, but the major amount of the tree is over here, growing up like this. Well, it's dead. And because of all the rain, it fell. So the trunk's over here, and there's a big gap and hole in the fence, and now the tree is on the ground. Well, I've had to take limbs. I have a stack of limbs of all these dead trees that I have in my yard growing, or they don't grow anymore. The limbs are falling off, and so I've been having a stack of limbs. And there's one thing I do like to do is work out in my yard. So anyway, I took a whole bunch of those limbs and I tried to block the hole, like put limbs in the hole on both sides and underneath, so that for right now the dogs can't get through that hole and escape the backyard, because that would be sad. I love my pups, or my kids, and I wouldn't want anything to happen to them. Okay, so back to David, my beloved late husband, who I love so much. So I wanted to show you some things that I kept of his. So everything that I kept is a treasure. And I did not keep a whole bunch. And let me tell you the reason why. So if you watch that video about how I lost my husband, and I went on and on and on about all the people that had died in my lifetime since high school, one of my good friends, and then as I became an adult, I lost, two brothers to suicide. I lost my mom and my dad, and I lost my birth son, and I lost a best friend. Anyway, I had Bibles from everybody, including my late husband, and I had Bibles from my husband's dad, who is now in heaven. And I had my mom's, my brother's Bibles, and I had stuff like china and different stuff of my mom's. Anyway, when David got sick, we had to move, and I couldn't take all of this stuff with me. I just couldn't. So I let it go. I knew that I would at one time lose David, and at that point, that's all I was interested in, is taking care of him and being with him. I didn't care about any of the sentimental things anymore. And so I let those things go. And so when David passed away, I kept just a few items of his. He had tons of tools, as he was a mechanic by trade. And those went to our oldest son. And then his Hot Wheels and stuff like that, things that he had saved from his childhood or collections or this, that, and the other, went to our youngest son. And then I got rid of like all of his clothes. He was a bigger guy than our sons, and so I got rid of all of his clothes. I didn't save anything like that, but I did save a few items. and I wanted to show you those items today. So the first item that I have to show you, and you'll have to forgive me for reaching over to grab these things, but my husband made a cookie jar for his mom, and he wanted it to be look like a beehive for his mom. Why a beehive? I don't know. Maybe that's how it turned out. But he made this in homemaking class or something in high school, and he loved it. He absolutely loved it, and we kept recipes. So there's like this recipe, which is cookies, and I'm trying to figure out, this would be sugar cookies, and he would always follow this recipe, and he probably got it from his mom. And then there's this handwritten recipe from his mom that's Texas chili, and he cooked this in a cook-off. I don't know what kind of cook-off, whether it was for the state fair or it was for high school, I don't know, but he won the cook-off. So there used to be a ribbon in here, but there's not anymore. And then oatmeal cookies. These were him and his brothers. They're like the oatmeal no-bake cookies. You just mix it all together, the ingredients, and then you drop it on wax paper and wait for them to dry. He loved these cookies, and so did his brother. And then the chocolate kiss cookies. I think we got a theme here, don't we? It's all cookies. And then banana pudding. This is, this is not the famous banana pudding that the Wittens are known for. But, yeah. So, anyway, that's all that's in here. And, you know, those recipes I will keep as treasures for my lifetime. And my kids know about this cookie jar. And one day, one of my kids, probably my youngest, will have this to remember his dad by. Another thing that I have of his is his driver's license. This was his driver's license. It actually expired. No, it was issued 2 months before he passed away. I get that. Oh, that's our new, that was our condo. We had just moved into the condo, and we had to get a new driver's license. And so that's why, yeah, we were only there for a couple of months before he passed away. And then after he was gone, I didn't want to go back. That was stupid of me. I should have stayed there because that condo was paid for, and that would have been easy living. So, but I didn't choose to do that. I bought a condo in the Dallas area, and then I moved to the Sherman area, and then now I live where I live now. And I have moved and moved, trying to find happiness, and I decided that this has got to be the end. I've gotten as close as I can to the original place that David and I planned to retire at. I got as close as I could to that, and I've got to find my happy place here. And I think I am happy. I think that I enjoy my house. I feel that I'm safe. It's a safe community. And I enjoy life here. I am far from Michael. Michael's in the Dallas area. I am far from him. It takes me about an hour and a half to get to him, but we see each other most weekends. And I don't know, I am happy. My dogs make me happy. I get to see my kids, and I just am making my happy place to be here. So, but I wish that I would have kept the condo and lived life there and just had a really easy life and travel back and forth to see my kids. Let's see. That's all that I have. Well, there's one more thing that was from him when he was living, and that's this pillow. And he was at UT Southwest, and this is before he passed away. He was in the hospital just days before he passed away. And there was a Church of Christ that made these pillows, and we were Church of Christ. And it says, "Lovingly made for you by Church of Christ," and they're from Waxahachie. Anyway, so I've kept this pillow because he loved it so much and thought it was so neat that the Church of Christ preacher came to see us, and he brought us these pillows, and he was from the Church of Christ in Waxahachie. And then from when he was in the hospice place, they asked if we would like some teddy bears made from his pajamas. And I said, that would be awesome. And I had just laundered all of his pajamas right before we had gone to the hospital. And so I got 3 sets of pajamas, and this is my teddy bear that was made from his set. And I just think it's so cute. It's got the button eyes and everything, and they made it from different pieces of his pajamas. And I thought it turned out so cute. And so I have one, and then each of our sons have one. And I just thought that was so neat. So, yes. Now, I don't have all of this stuff just sitting out in my house. All of this stuff stays in my closet in a little spot, so I can see it when I get into my closet every morning, and when I'm getting in my closet every night, and so on and so forth. I get to see it, but I do not like have it out in my house. So then I have this book. This was him, and this was one of our dogs that we had that before we had to move due to him getting sick. And then him growing up, let's see, this would be him right here. And that would have been him in high school. And this, I don't know when this was taken, but this is a brother that passed away 2 years before David did. And that's Roger. He passed away at the same thing. And then his brother Timmy and his sister Deborah. This is an old picture. This would probably have been when my husband was in high school as well. Maybe just right out of high school. I'm not really sure. And then this is our wedding. That's our wedding certificate. And then that's our reception. Golly. Oh, my book is kind of falling apart. And this is just a way of keeping the memories alive. This is him with our kids when they were born. And this is me and him when we first got married. I think I wore that dress from the reception, or during the reception I changed and left in that dress. And his sister made me that shirt and dress. This book is not staying together good. He raced. He was a race car driver, but he gave it up. It was dirt track racing. He gave it up when we started dating. And I did not ask him to do that. He chose to do that on his own. This is him at work. And I thought this was so cute with the little glasses with the nose. Manny took that of him, and I thought that was so great. And then this is my husband with our 2 sons. That's Jake, and that's Austin. This book's going to have to be taped together or something. That's how much I've looked at it. And then this is around 23 years of marriage, and I hate this picture because of that white watch. Like, the lady should have told me to take off the watch. That's me when we lived in Canton. This is before he got diagnosed, me and my pink hair. And then we had gone to the races on an anniversary, on a day we met anniversary, and that's us there. That was probably a selfie. And then that was us. We were at his parents' house when we first got married. And then that's him with one of our sons. That would be Jake, and that's Austin. And I think this little guy right here is Austin. And then that's him. We're leaving, and we're having rice thrown at us. And that's a church picture. Oops, that's him. Now see this thing that you put your hands up like this? That's because he had a hard time breathing, and this was an old picture. It was probably after high school, but yes, he was always like that because he had a hard time breathing. Let's see if I can figure out where we are. Let's see, I've seen that. I think a lot of these pictures are just repeats. So this is his high school graduation. This is him in front of his yellow race car. And this is him and his dad. And you've already seen this picture. This is him, his brother Timmy, Roger, Deborah, Grandma, and Granddad. See, there's 2 pages that are exactly the same. This is him at his work, wearing his work uniform, Maintain. This is probably the company that he worked for when he was exposed to Roundup, which is what caused the pulmonary fibrosis. And that's him. See his greasy hands. He was a mechanic. I'm not sure what the hat says on there. This is him and him again. This is at my sister's house. He's already on oxygen here. And I love this picture of him there. These will be the last few days, the last couple of days of him at the hospital. He was sitting up there. See, he didn't look as sick as he was. This was a couple of days or the day before he passed away. He's talking on the phone probably to his mom and dad. And then here he is here. You can see with his oxygen. Anyway, that's all of the pictures, and I put in this book, and I think I've shown you all of them. And I made, thank goodness this is not the only book because it fell apart. But the kids each have a book, and they're all the same. So let me see if I showed you all of these pictures. Yeah, I showed you all of those. And there's one more picture, and that is of him right here. Or there's a couple more pictures. And then his memorial service, they made it crossing the finish line. And it says, "See you at the finish line." And that's him at his racing. And I guess, we'll all see him at the finish line when we get into heaven. And it says, David Paul Whitten, August the 9th, 1962 to July the 7th, 2019, in loving memory. It's got pictures of us all. You can see my sons and their wives and me. I'm right here. This is Jake. This is Austin, Alex, and Connie, his mom and dad. That's me when we were first dating, and him. And then you've seen this picture a couple of times. Anyway. I keep this little chair with him sitting in it. and his driver's license, just like that. So he loved to sit outside. That's why I like him sitting in this chair, because he liked to sit outside underneath the porch. And then he donated his body to science. So because he wanted to help anybody else down the road that, hoping to find a cure for maybe someone or a lot of people down the road that had pulmonary fibrosis. And when I went and picked up his ashes, they had given me a thank you note. And it says, "Dear family, it is an incredible and a unique privilege to study how the body works and we owe a debt of gratitude to you, to your loved one, for giving this gift of knowledge. As future doctors, this knowledge will equip us to take care of the future patients and serve the sick. We do not undertake this responsibility lightly. Many of our own experiences related to illness serve as inspiration for this work. Thanks to your family member, we are able to grow the knowledge it will take for us to feel comfortable taking care of other people's loved ones. With sincere thanks, I don't know if that says 6 medical students or G medical students. I have no idea. But it's either a 6 or a G. And then they gave me a letter, and it's from UT Southwest, and it says February the 9th, 2022, Angela Winton, and it has my address that I lived at then. So he died July the 9th of 2019. And the funny story is okay, it's February of 2022, and I still had not got my husband back, and they said that it was going to be 2 years. I'm trying to think, was it 2019? Yes. So here it is, and it had already been 2.5 years, 2 years, 9 months, and I had not got my husband back. So I called them up, and I'm like, okay, this is Angela Winton, and my husband donated his body to science, and y'all have him. And they're like, well, we're not finished with him yet because of COVID. And I'm like, look here, look, and I'm crying. But I'm like, look, if you do not get my husband to me, say in the next day or two, I am going to call the police, and I'm going to tell them that you stole my husband. I'm going to tell them that UT Southwest stole my husband. So just know that. And blah, 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 this is my phone number. And I hung up. Well, within, say, an hour, 30 minutes to an hour, the person that ran that area called me and said, I am so sorry, Mrs. Winton, but we've had your husband ready for over 6 months, and he's been on the shelf. Yeah, I just bawled. I bawled and bawled and bawled. They said, you can come and pick him up. And so I went and picked him up. And I was so happy to get him. I didn't think that when it came time to pick him up that I would be able to do it. But I was, and I was proud of myself. And I will never forget, I just pulled up to a little crossing area, and they came out and they gave me my husband. And it was a really good feeling knowing that I had him back. And he wanted his ashes spread. Let me read this letter to you, and then I'll go into that. It says, Dear Mrs. Winton, David Paul Winton was involved in a course for the training of first-year medical students here at UT Southwestern. This training is their first task here at the university and starts them out with their first patients, the ones that will teach them how to serve and cure the living. The students take this course very seriously. The training they received will serve them through their careers as MDs. UT Southwestern Medical Center and our students value the selfless sacrifice made by your family. The knowledge received from David's gift is valuable, and many families in our community will benefit from it for years to come. It is with humble gratitude and appreciation that we thank you for allowing us to be of service to you and your family. Regards, Frederick Johnson, Crematory Services, UT Southwest Wheeled Body Program. It's got the number and then his email address. Anyway, one day these things will turn brown, and I wish that that wasn't the case. I wish that I knew how to preserve them so they would not turn brown and they would be good forever. And then there's a card here, right here, and it says that this parcel contains the ashes of David Paul Whitten. And they had him in this very nice velvet bag. And then he's in this like a rubber box with his let's see, it's sealed. I can't open it. I mean, I'd have to pry it open. It has the UT Southwestern Medical Center Wheeled Body Program, David Paul Whitten, SAB number, and then UT Southwest number. So anyway, I will keep him until I pass away. And then he wanted to be spread at the racetrack, but spreading ashes is against the law in the state of Texas. But I would like to either be buried in him in my casket, or us spread or planted a tree planted in our honor, with maybe, I don't know. I don't know what the future holds, but I'm hoping I live for years to come. I really want to see my children. Anyway, that's all I got left of my husband, but I cherish those things and it makes me happy. I also have behind here, you can't really see it, but there's like a little plaque, and it hangs between the two closets. Oops. And it says, your life was a blessing, your memory a treasure, you're loved beyond words and missed beyond measure. Anyway, I love that man. I still love him to this day. I really do. I love him, and there's not a night that goes by that I don't tell him that I love him. And I have a video that I will film in just a few days talking about the cardinal and what that means to me. And it's kind of funny. So I'll see you soon. Like and subscribe and come back often. Bye-bye.